Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside Podcast. I am Joe Panther, the third. Got them sirens coming because you know he's coming down the track. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to the one and only Rex. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside, Rex. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's up, everybody? Yes, there's sirens going. I'm here in beautiful Brooklyn, New York. You'll always hear sirens, ambulances, fireworks, and gunshots, maybe. Who knows what we'll hear tonight?
Awesome. My sister's from Brooklyn, so I get the sirens because you're the Rex. Of course, the police are coming to get you.
They're coming to get me, exactly.
Everybody wants to take out the T-Rex, but can they? But can they? Can they take down the Rex? So let's go back to the beginning of your career, Rex.
All right.
So how did you get your start?
All right. So that is actually a question that I usually get to the point with. But something I've never really talked about is that I actually really got my first insight into indie wrestling through backyard wrestling. Yeah, I know. I don't know. But now it's a bit changed. But back when I was coming up, it was a dirty word. It was a dirty backyard. Oh yeah, word, you know.
That's why I went.
But it's actually where I started like going out to like Ace. And, paying like $10 on the weekend and, you'll get some training, and that's where I met Asriel. So it's like through that, I started kind of making connections and going to indie shows. So that's really where I got my start. And I would eventually, I just like always had the gift of gab. And I was talk to promoters and say, hey, listen, I'm not the best. I'm not telling you I'm going to be a fucking huge superstar for you, but if you give me a chance, let me show you what I can do. So I kind of got myself a few bookings with no like legitimate training. And then I met Joel Maximo and Amazing Red. And, I kind of came up watching them in TNA, Ring of Honor, NWA Wildside. And so I started kind of talking to them. And then a couple months later, my cousin, he's a security, and he hits me up and he's like, hey, man, he was like, I told one of my employees about you that, trying to get into the wrestling business. He's a wrestler himself, so I see if he can, maybe help you out or whatever. One day I just get a phone it says Jay Maritato. And I'm like, why does that name sound familiar? Like, what is that? So I answer the call and it's Nunzio. Little Guido. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, he's like, hey, and he introduces him, hey, this is James Maritato, Nunzio, Little Guido. He goes, I work for your cousin Tom, and he was telling me you're looking to get into the wrestling business. I'd like to check you out. And, I was excited. We set a date and everything like that. And boom, I hung up the phone and instantly said, fuck, I need some training, like some legit fucking training. So I was just scrolling through Facebook at the time, and I just called the first number that I seen for a wrestling school. That a lot of like the backyarders, kind of 2KW guys, they were all kind of joining this school, and I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. I call up the number, and it's Joel Maximo picking up the phone. So I'm like, oh shit. What the fuck? Like, I got starstruck for a minute because Joel's one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm
famous SATs.
Yeah, man, I love them. And I just started training under him in 2011. And like, that's just everything started from then on. But I have to to be true to myself, I have to say, if it wasn't for me getting into backyard wrestling, I would have never paved that way for myself.
Yeah, it's crazy because back in the 2000s, late 2000s, backyard wrestling was king. Like when I was in college, I don't know if you remember this, you can go to sound makes me feel old. I'm judging myself. I'm gonna have my where I work. They're like tapping on my side window, going, "Hey Joe, here's your applesauce and here's your robe. Here's your wheelchair. Here's your walker." you can go to Sam Goody or you can go to all these places and get Backyard Wrestling DVD or the video game. Do you remember that?
Tapes, yeah. See, I really threw it back there with the VHS.
I'm 43 years old. I'm Mr. Old School. I
am 35, my friend. So,
do you remember the video game? They had the Backyard Wrestling.
Backyard Wrestling, and 1 and 2.
I never got 2. I only made part 1.
Listen, I was one of those kids that anything wrestling, I was watching it. I was playing it, like I was with it.
It was weird. It ran like ECW. It was like ECW game, right? But in a backyard.
Yeah, man. But like I said, if it hadn't been for Backyard Wrestling, I would have never been able to meet Joel. In the first place.
Seriously, dude, you would have been out of the loop. You would have never ever seen it. It's crazy. So when you got into the school with Joel Al and the SAT boys, what was what were like the first few like days like? Because I know you said you were like, they're indie gods, like those guys. Yeah, those are the boys.
The first few days of me being there, was work. It was learning how to break down the ring and put up the ring. There were times where we weren't allowed in the ring where we would just, and not like on a punishment thing, but more of to teach us a lesson, and I always took it as, you can't do all the cool stuff in the ring unless you have all the basics done. You know what I mean? Unless you know that ring like the back of your hand, you shouldn't be in it. It was that type of mentality I took it as, But my first few days were hard work. There were days where I felt nauseous and sick. There were days where I wanted to give up. And they really pushed you, they really pushed you back then. Submission, teaching you submissions and teaching you like how to, I don't want to say shoot because of like, I don't want to think like, oh, we're going in there beating the shit out of each other, but like shoot as far as catch wrestling, catching holds wherever you can, chain wrestling, shark bait, things like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix the screen. I don't know why it's so small. I'm sorry, dude. What happened? What just happened? This is new. I've never seen this to anybody. I don't know why it's so big. Hey guys, I'm huge. I'm huge.
It's all good. But yeah, the first few days they were hard. And it was like my first time like getting like structured training. And at the time I thought I had to try to get everything done like right the first time. So I put a lot more pressure on myself than I probably should have at that time.
So when it comes to let's go a little further. When it comes to your training, like, do you think that this persona that you took upon, was it something that the SAT boys helped you build? Or 100%. Was it something that you feel like you bona fide found it somewhere else and then the SATs grabbed it and then tweaked it up, changed it a little bit?
I will tell you, I'm 100% a product of Joel Maximo, like 100%. Even the name Kris Rex originally, like, okay, when I was Backyard Wrestling, the name was Reckless. So when I was transitioning, becoming a pro wrestler, I was like, I needed, I can't use that name. I got which that was actually a tribute to Reckless Youth. I was like, I want to keep something in there. So I would spell it Kris, Kris, but WRECKSZ, like a Polish or a Czech last name, and it just, a lot of people spell it wrong. It just didn't connect. So one day after training, me and Joel were talking, he was like, yo, why don't you just shorten it to Rex, like REX? I was like a dinosaur, like Rex? He goes, no, it's Latin for king. And I was like, I felt that in my heart. And I was like, that's it. Ooh. AR, simple initials, So developing the character started there. I was always a fan of Raven.
Oh, yeah.
That is a huge, huge influence on me. So Joel kind of seen that in me. And he seems like it was a lot of also Kris Rex, the persona is me, especially during that time. Like that was a lot of it was me. But he's seen that and learned and taught me how to amp that up and play a character and cut promos and focus that I don't have to be the best guy in the ring, you know? Yeah. If I can cut a promo and make people boo me and hate me, I'm good, you know?
Yeah, 100%, dude. So let's go a little bit further in. When you did your first match, did you have gear yet? Because a lot of wrestlers I've spoken to just had shorts and a t-shirt.
All right. Are we talking like my first like actual like
the practice match? You know, the one they do before. I go to PPWs a lot in Sladen's in PA. So they have you before the show. You're the dark match before the actual show starts.
All right. So the way I kind of did it, with Joel did, is we had student shows every week. So we were always in front of a crowd. Which I love that. That was a smart thing. And that first time, I remember I had these pleather shorts, black and red from E-Lucha. These pleather shorts I wore, and I had these kick pads, the foam kick pads, and I tied a bandana around it. I had a bandana around my head. I was bandana everything.
Oh God.
And a fucking sleeveless shirt with I went to King's Plaza and got somebody to do a fucking Kris Rex on it, and yeah, it was definitely like bland, generic, like backyard wrestling looking gear. I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh.
It was horrible. It was, and I did not have long hair at the time.
Oh, geez, you had your hair short too. Oh man, how did the crowd react to you? Were they happy? Did they boo you? Like, what was it like the first reactions?
Well, I was heel from get go, so like I knew my job was to get them to hate me. And I used my mouth a lot, and I just knew how to antagonize the crowd. Hey, Mal.
Good to tell the boys. Joe Panther says hola, and he misses his Latin family, bro. Tell him to come back to Dudes at Ringside. Doors open. Never left.
So yeah, that gear was just horrible.
Oh,
but I think being able to be in front of a crowd every week gave us students at that time a head start, you know, to where it's like we can learn to do this right, you know, consistently, and improve ourselves each week.
So let's go a little bit further in. I noticed that big, beautiful, shiny belt behind you.
Yes, the
let's
wrestling
talk about
is
that
now Roku Championship. Here.
Yes, my TV is highlighting, going Roku. We're not on. The TV's off.
Yeah, the Roku.
There it is, that beautiful logo that everybody has to click through to watch do their belts. So I know it's the R on top, Ruda. My little beautiful Goldie belt is going Ruda. What? Ruda's there. So when it comes to that championship, that day you were winning the title. Like when you got into the match, let's talk about like who did you fight? Was it a tournament match? Because most of the new belts like that are going to a tournament match.
No, actually, all right. So this is a story for you.
I love it.
So Jeff Skywalker is actually the Roku champion at the time, and there was other plans for me, and Joel just came to me and said, "Hey, we want to kind of switch things, and we want to, you know, try to have, you know, see what you can do with this." And shout out to Jeff Skywalker and Zombie King, who I was in a triple threat match with them. Shout out to them. They were great with me. During the match, so it was me, Jeff Skywalker, Zombie King. Jeff Skywalker is the defending champion. Somewhere early in the match, I guess, I still really haven't seen the footage all the way through.
Oh, wow.
I took a bump, a bad bump on my head. I spiked myself.
Oh.
And I just kind of like blurted in and out of the match. I just remember coming in and that like, there were times I forgot things. There were times where I remembered things. There were times, so like I was kind of unconscious, like throughout the match. And I don't remember winning the belt, to be honest. So yeah, that was my championship win there. But I kind of see that as I stayed through the match somehow. You know, if that's not a fighting champion right there or someone worth having a belt right there, then, you know, while they're fucking halfway unconscious and still able to go.
Wow. So you're saying like when you got backstage, did you make it backstage or did they have to take you out to bring you to the hospital?
I believe the reps helped me backstage. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm not laughing. I'm going, oh my God. That's like
it's it was definitely not how I would I would expect things to go. But I got through, and you know what? I was kind of pissed at myself for a few days. Like I was like, damn, like I don't deserve this. Like this isn't how it should have been. But then I just started kind of getting into the mindset of like, well, how the fuck did I make it through the match?
Yeah.
You know, how the fuck did I keep going through, you know? And I just started being like, damn, like, fuck, I still made it through and still fucking won the belt.
Yeah. Like, when you finally realized, was it like the next day when you realized you won the title? And how did you get home that night?
It was funny.
All right, so
I'm getting checked out by the doc, and doc, you know, he's like, all right, you're good now. You know, I'm not like, I didn't feel nauseous. I just kind of couldn't remember things in the match. And then I'm starting to like cool off. They put fucking water and ice on me, and that I was like, oh fuck. And then Joel goes, yo, grab the belt promo. So I was in. So that you know, I kind of was like, oh, I'm champion. Jeff Skywalker, you know, brought me the belt, you know, and I was like, I was like, damn, I'm like, this isn't like, I don't remember, you know. So it's like I can't sit there and tell you what emotion I had at that time, because it's like, shit, I was like knocked out. I can't tell you how I feel about winning the belt. I don't even know I won the belt, you know.
Oh, it almost sad, because there's everybody that I've ever interviewed.
Dark Side of the Ring, the Kris Rex story.
They don't. Like, I feel bad because I've interviewed so many wrestlers, as you know, Chris, that have that moment. The female wrestlers from England, like, oh, I went in, I got to my move, and I did the pin, and I just hear it originally was all cloudy, and then all of a sudden I hear the referee go for the bell, and then they lift my hand, and you don't remember. It's like, that's sad. They have to go back to go on YouTube or go on Roku to watch that moment. Like,
yeah, I mean, I have the footage. It's just something that I'm very critical of myself anyway. Like I'm the type of guy that, like, after every match, I'm like, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. I could have done this better. It was an all right match, you know, for me, on my part, you know. So like, I kind of just haven't, but I have to. I have to eventually, because I have some editing stuff to do. So eventually I'll see it. But yeah, I don't see it as sad though. You know, it happens. It's a reality. If anything, it's a reality of wrestling to show you like how.
Yeah.
You know,
literally like, reality.
It's reality, man. It happens. But I can't dwell on it either, you know, and be like, oh, I didn't have that moment, because you know what? Now there's a shit ton more moments coming. You're
the man now. You have the, like, this is my next question for you. If you had a chance to do like a one night only with any indie wrestler from anywhere in the United States, to bring them in to have that match, and you could pick your opponent from the indie scene from the United States, anywhere from the country, that you could say, hey guys, I want that man to come here and fight me.
So I was on a previous podcast last year, and they asked me the question of anybody in any company, in the world that my dream match. And you would expect me to say a legend. Who I said was Jordan Oliver.
Okay.
The match was supposed to happen. It was booked, and the show got canceled that weekend. So the match never happened. So now that you ask me that question, anybody out there, Jordan Oliver.
Okay.
That's it.
You hear that, boys? He wants to do it. Run it back and do the match.
I want
canceled.
The match, man.
Never happened. That's the tease. You hear that? You hear that? If this boy wants to fight, needs an opponent. I have some people that I would love to see you come, and I love to see them come to PA. I would love to see you wrestle Alpha Jr. Well, the Wild Simone boys. Yeah. Rico Gold from PA, from Battlefield. Logie P is another good guy from PA that I'm very, very super familiar with.
I'm not really familiar with the PA talent, unfortunately.
There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent. I haven't
been out there too much.
There's a lot of New York baddies, big dudes, and there's some. I've seen it since living on Long Island. There's a lot of talented wrestlers that I think not even in their business anymore that were in NYWC. Damian Dragon, he has not in the business anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Evil Kip. I would love to see you wrestle Evil Kip. He's from you know Evil. I know Evil. Yeah. I say his name is gonna appear like freaking Danhausen on the screen. Chop chow. You're gonna show up.
But there's Jordan Oliver. There's a Leo Rush. Joey Conway.
That's another one. They'll be like, "What'd you say?" Show up in my background. He's me behind one of them.
I hope he hears me.
Does he hear me? He hears me.
No, Joey Conway's another one.
Oh God.
I'm actually there's this young guy coming up that I'm actually wrestling in Worcester, Massachusetts on September 12th. Ace Jackson. He's an up and comer from out here in New York, and I actually tagged with him out in Jersey for a match, and I was like, I just love to work him one day, and just somehow, some way, it just happened, and I'm like, my belt fell.
Oh no! Don't let the boss see that.
I'm defending this belt against him in Worcester. It's actually wrestling is now his Massachusetts debut. So
wow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that boys never put any kind of New York name in the actual name of the promotion. They would be booing you out of the building because Massachusetts.
That was my cheap heat whenever I would go out to Mass. That was my cheap heat. Yankees jersey, Yankees cap.
Get the Yankee pinstripe bandana. Oh my God.
I actually did a trip to Boston, and we stopped at Fenway Park, and there were these people walking, and they seen we wanted to take pictures and everything. They're like, "Oh, you want us to take the picture?" I was like, "Yeah." Right as they were about to snap the picture, I took my hoodie off, and it was a fucking Yankees jersey.
No.
And, I was riding with Franco Varga at the time, and he was like, "Dude," he was like, "You're gonna get killed for that out here, man." I was like, "I had to do it.
They're crazy in Boston." Oh, yeah. I have a funny story about. I went on a family trip for a reunion, and we were walking around. Typical big mouth me. I'm more of a face than a heel sometimes. We go to a hat shop in Boston, and I'm looking through the hats, and they had all these different Red Sox hats, and they had one Yankee hat in the corner, red one. And the guy's like, "What kind of cap you want?" And I'm like, "What do you want, buddy?" That they always say in Boston. I was like, "I want that one." Which one? One with the socks with the shamrock? No. The one that it's blue? I'm like, "No, that one." He's like, "Which one?" I was like, "The one in the corner." And he goes, "You got to be fucking kidding me." That one? I was like, "Yeah, the red Yankee cap." And my dad's like, "He wants a hat. You're gonna deny a guest of money?" And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I put that cap there just to fuck around with people. You're going to buy it?" I was like, "Yeah, I want it. How much is it?" He's like, "Oh, fucking fine. $20. I was like, "All right." My dad's like, $20, give it the money." He's like, "I fucking can't believe it." And walk out, the guy goes, I can't fucking believe it. This guy bought a Yankee cap in the Boston store. I was like, yeah. And
that's something I would do, man. I would definitely do. I got that New York pride, man. I got that New York.
It was a red Yankee cap. It looked like fooled you. Red is. They're like, go Red Sox, you motherfucker, like that kind of thing. Tricked you, fucking Boston. Like, when it comes to your gear, I noticed it was like the way it looks, and it has. I feel in your gear, everybody's gear has a different feeling to me. That gear has like. Almost has the colors like the 90s colors with the white and the yellow and the purple and the black. Did you have help with anybody with the design, and who did it?
All right. So the main design is that's always been like a part of my gear ever since I've had custom gear has been the barbed wire. And Joel kind of like told me like he always felt like barbed wire kind of represented me. Well, you know, especially like I'm a mark for ECW. So I always like threw that tribute in there. So my first gear was just barbed wire with my name Rex on it, Kris Rex on it. And then as I started customizing the gears more, I started adding more to it. So it started with the barbed wire. And then with this later gear where I started kind of doing more colors, because I was always the black and red guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me switch it up. So I did the yellow with the green barbed wire and my custom logo. I design all my gear myself, and I get it made, you know. So I was tag teaming in Maine for Main Event Wrestling with Lee Miller, our group, The Pathway. We were going for the tag belts, and it was like the first time we were teaming together. And, you know, we were kind of butting heads, like leading up to this, like where we didn't want to team with each other. And then there's like, we showed up that day in front of the crowd he had yellow and green shorts, and I had my custom tights. You know, they were a little too big at the time, but I still rocked them out. And then I always loved Rey Mysterio, huge inspiration on me, in and out of the ring. And I was like, he always had so much gear. Like I always felt like when he's in the locker room, he could just open up his gear bag and it's just, all right, what am I going to wear today?
Oh,
I always wanted
it's like
that.
a store. It's like
exactly.
A store. Like he was selling, like the guys from Living Color, and they were selling the boot stuff out of their car. Like, and I got this and that size.
Yeah.
Wrestlers are like, I can't even set up my gear. What the hell?
I always wanted that. So when I started designing, like I started doing the yellow. Then I did the black with the red bandana and the white bandana, the paisley on it with gold, with white and gold barbed wire with my logo on there. And that actually I had made specifically to wrestle Jordan Oliver in. And since that match didn't happen, I just started wearing that. Then I got the purple gear that I actually was supposed to win the belt in, but it arrived the next day.
Wow. No.
So, but yeah, now I got the purple with the gold and the white. So it's like my thing is like I got a blue pair coming, I got a half black and half red coming, a half yellow, half red coming. So I'm doing the Rey Mysterio thing, you know. But yeah, a lot of my inspiration behind the gear was Chris Jericho. If you notice,
I can hear that with the barbed wire. That's a Chris Jericho thing, also.
My first gear was the red with the silver barbed wire.
Oh yeah. He did that. He had that. Yeah,
that was my first gear. So it was always an inspiration of that. ECW, the bandanas. You know, the whole crown on the skull. On my logo, like you know, Rex King, and then even my entrance music, you know, it has kind of like the same theme in it, you know. So yeah, the gear, I've always just wanted to have a lot of gear, and now that I'm kind of in a, I would say, balanced place in life, you know, I say, you know what, I can invest a little bit more in myself and invest in the gear and invest in going to the gym more and eating better and, you know, doing shit right, you know?
Yeah. Definitely, you always got to keep yourself balanced. And with being a wrestler, like, how many times a day do you actually train? Because a lot of people have like set schedules. They have a little calendar. It's Monday.
When, for like the first few years of training, I trained 5 days a week.
Wow.
About maybe like till I got off of work, got to the school until the school closed. Like I was dedicated for like the first few years of my life, my wrestling life. I was just dedicated to, and I was in there and in there and in there as much as I could. And then like as you know, I started going on the road and stuff like that. It was harder to find place because a lot of places want you to sign up for you know, the monthly and go through the whole program. And I'm like I just need a spot to go training, you know. And then I took a couple of years off. Now I go a couple times a week. No one really knows when I go training because I'm an early bird. I'll go there as soon as the place opens. And if nobody's there, I train. I do what I can by myself. I work on drills and cardio and bumps and just the working on the basics. That's one thing I'll always say is you always got to keep yourself grounded on the basics.
Yeah, that you got that completely right, man. It's just crazy.
I don't train as much as I did in the beginning, but
Yeah.
you know, now it's kind of like a different part of my career now.
So, what is your meal prep like the day before a show?
Well, my meal prep is throughout the week. Actually, I do a food shopping on payday or the day after payday. I'll go do my food shopping for the week. I'm just now starting to prep my breakfast. But because it's hard for me to do breakfast in the morning. But my dinners are usually like chicken, beef, with rice, beans, vegetables, potatoes, you know, and I just do different combinations, and I'll have the whole week prepped out for dinners. Lunches, you know, is like either tuna fish, whole wheat bread. I have protein oatmeal. Like, so everything's like high protein, but good high calories, but good calories. And yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's show day or what, like my meal prep stays the same. It's just a little bit harder on show day.
Yeah.
Because it's now my timing's kind of off with eating, you know, because I can't eat before a match. Like I've always kind of had this little fear of shitting myself during a match.
Oh yeah, I've heard some sad stories about.
I really don't. I eat light throughout that day, so I don't eat heavy on show days. The day before a show is a normal, you know, 3-4 meals with some snacks in between. You know, I really cut out sugar out of my diet a lot. Yeah, trying to be healthy, man, which is crazy because I think about it all the time. If I would have done all of this 15, 14, 13, 12 years ago, I would have been good, you know, but
yeah,
you know,
so
ices and life, you know.
Yeah. When it comes to packing the bag for a wrestling show, most people that I know don't really understand that kind of grind. So would you consider yourself a last minute Lucy or an early bird to pack the bag?
Well, it kind of depends. Though I've kind of like learned how to deal with it. I do have anxiety. So like there's certain things where I always feel like I'm forgetting something. You know, and I'll check my bag like 3, 4, 5 times. And then I get very anxious. So I may pack my bag the night before, right? Say I got a show in Jersey, right? That's a pretty local for me. So I'll pack my bag the night before, but in the morning I'm like, okay, do I have this? Okay, cool. Oh, they need me to, if they need me to bring my equipment, you know, because I do commentary, editing, shit like that. Oh, I got to pack that. So that's the last thing that's got to get packed. So I can't pack that till last minute, you know. So it's just a lot of more of being in my head. It's like a whole process for me. But as far as like packing my bag, it's it's no problem packing the bag and having my things. It's that, I guess, double checking and triple checking and making sure I have everything. Or am I going to bring all my gear I have, or am I going to just bring this gear so I can pack light? If I have to catch a flight, I want to try to pack as light as I can. I don't want to pay fucking bag check fees. So I'm trying to pack everything in a carry-on, you know?
Yeah, no way.
You know, so that's, it really depends on how I'm traveling, where the show is, and kind of my mood also. That's always kind of been a factor, how I feel. And I try not to, like, I've battled with depression, so I noticed when that kicks in and it's like, I'll pack later. I'll pack later. And I like that. That's when I know, all right, no. I got to boost myself here. You know, I got to get them frequencies and that energy up, man.
Yeah. So when it comes to like your career in a nutshell, do you think that when you first started to now, you think that you pretty much have done part of what you have put on your goals list for your career, so where it is now? Or do you think this Rex character can go so much further than you are right now?
That's a good question. That's deep for me. That's deep for me because I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations in my life, a lot of self-discovery and you know, and in wrestling and finding out who I am. And so I would say, to an extent, I've done what I wanted to do, because when I think about that 5-year-old boy that all he wanted to do was be a pro wrestler, then yeah, 100%, I've completed that goal. Just stepping in the ring one day, I've completed that goal. You know, I'm just living out the dream of a 5-year-old kid. But the double edge to that is there is still so much more. You know, I used to put a time limit on myself. I used to put a age limit on myself and a career limit on myself. And I'm like, now I'm like, I'm 35. Yeah, that's, you know, a bit on the older side. You know, I'm not a young buck anymore. But I feel good, you know, and, you know, I'm taking things more seriously. I'm pretty much doing the things I should have done in the beginning of my career. And I don't have really any certain expectations or any goals anymore. I realized that's what made me bitter about the business. That's what made me bitter and hate wrestling and step away and not, you know, when it became about expectations and goals and trying to paper chase, you know. I've now come to a point in my life where, again, I'm just living that dream of that 5-year-old boy. And that 5-year-old boy doesn't care if he makes $1 million in this business, if he makes it to WWE, TNA, AEW. Would I like to? Yeah, that's cool. I'd go. But as far as setting a goal for myself like that, wherever this ride takes me, my friend, wherever this ride takes me.
I love it. I love it, dude. If anybody wants to pick up any merch of yours, is there anywhere they can find it?
I do have a printer. I think it's a Printify store. I believe it's Kris Rex printify.com, I believe. I haven't really, that's one thing about myself, is I've never been like the social media person, and I've never been like this is the worst thing, is as a wrestler, I should do this, right? Is advertising. And I'm like the worst at that, because I'm like, I don't live in that social media bubble, you know? And,
yeah.
You know, so it's kind of hard for me to do that. So
I get
like,
it.
And
people ask you that all the time.
To be quite honest, there's been times where I've put out my shop and everything like that. And, you know, outside of, you know, close people who've always supported me, it's like, realistically, you never really did anything, you know? So if someone wants a shirt or something, yeah, I'll send you a link to it. You can buy a shirt. Thank you. I appreciate the support. But, I'm very realistic about who I am in this business. And as far, as I don't think I'm this great big entity in this business. I don't think, I'm a superstar. I have skills that I'm good at. And what's the best word to say it? I'm a good hand in the ring. And I'm able to, like, you tell me what you want me to do, like you tell me my role for tonight. If I'm the mid carder, I'm the mid carder. If I'm putting this guy over because you need him to look strong and you need him to look like a power, okay. Yes, I'm cool. Like I think you can ask any promoter I've ever worked with, regardless if they brought me back or any, like, one thing they can always say is I've never said no and I've done what they've asked me to do.
Amazing. Before we go, there's another related question that I always ask before we go, before I end the shows. If you could write a letter to a younger you could choose the age of the younger you send it to. It doesn't have to be from, it could be any timeline. You could do like Back to the Future. You just drop the letter in the box. What's that movie that they drop the letter in the box and it appears in the person's mailbox instead of like at their door? It's not on a cell phone. I'm old school Joe. I always have an old school question. And where would this letter go down the timeline? You can put it in your mailbox. Boom, it appears in that person's house mailbox. So who would it go to?
Damn, Joe, you got me on another deep one here.
That's me. I get to the heartstrings.
I love
baby.
it. I love it. Any timeline. I'd send it to ten-year-old me.
Ooh, 10-year-old. Okay.
Yeah. And I tell him, believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and don't worry about the materialistic in this world.
Okay.
Just follow your heart and follow your soul. That's it.
Awesome,
and not
right?
even about wrestling, just life advice.
Because wrestling is now.
Yeah, wrestling is now.
Wrestling is now, baby. In my family, how I got into wrestling is because of my grandfather. He wrestled in the 50s and 60s under Vince's dad.
Oh, shit.
And I learned, and my cousin, I find out during COVID, I have two cousins that wrestled, Pete Sanchez and Frank Martinez, the Blue Demon. So my wrestling family runs deep in wrestling. People think, oh, Joe's just a fan. No. If I took this banner down, you would see the picture of my grandfather with his wrestling ID from New York.
That's some old school shit for you.
It's not the original, but my dad did a copy of it, so it looks real. Looks like the real ID on my wall. And yeah, I just love this business. And when Dudes at Ringside started like 5 years ago, we thought we were just gonna be the pre and post show for WWE, SmackDowns, Raws, whatever. And I just invited Foxy, and she just absolutely opened these doors, and we just opened the satellite dishes to all of you guys. And this is like the 5 years of Dudes at Ringside, and I'm so proud and honored to have helped so many wrestlers from Long Island, from everybody from NYWC, Wrestling Is Now, the SATs, you guys, as I said, bro, it's a Latino brother pounding his chest for you, man. Give you props. You guys are doing beautiful things with these young, talented wrestlers, males and females. It's so beautiful how you guys are opening up opportunities for young wrestlers to give themselves something to do besides sit at home and do something they shouldn't be doing. It's beautiful. And if you're watching this and you're not a wrestling fan and you want to get into this business, look for a good promotion that will help you mold yourself into something that you thought you never would become. That's what you want to be. You want to be somebody that people want to go to and people want to watch, and be able to go on Roku. If you're watching wrestling and that's so cool. You can go on Roku and not just watch a movie. You can go and watch wrestling. Because I now I'm gonna have to get they send them things so I can go on Roku and watch you guys wrestle. Because I love Roku. So you gotta send me so I can look it up when I get after. My parents are gonna be like, "Jamie, you found more wrestling on Roku. We gotta get this guy out of his apartment." But Rex, Kris, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I am Joe Panther III. You can find me here on the Joe Panther Variety Show on YouTube, on Facebook under The Real Dudes at Ringside, and also on Instagram under Dudes at Ringside Podcast. Also, personal page, find me under Joe Panther III. And thanking my guest, your turn, Rex.
I am Kris Rex, your Wrestling Is Now Roku champion. And thank all you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Joe, for having me. This was fucking excellent. I really enjoyed this. You got me with them deep questions. If anyone wants to follow me on all social media platforms, right there at the bottom, at Rex Wrestles on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. If you're in the Massachusetts area, September 12th, I'll be in Worcester, Mass, defending the Roku Championship. I'll also be hitting Maine. I'll be in Maine for 2 nights, Friday and Saturday, October 23rd and October 24th. And going back there to be with my brothers, The Pathway, for Ring Wars and Full Blast Pro Wrestling. So if you're in the Maine area, I'll be coming to you. Again, thank all you guys for tuning in. I love all you guys. Keep supporting podcasts like this that, like you said, it does give wrestlers like myself an opportunity to not only tell their story, but reach maybe a different audience, and also hand in hand give him an audience with my people that are watching. So big ups to you guys for what you do, and thank you, your family, and their legacy for what they've also contributed to the wrestling business.
Thank you so much. And as I always say, everybody, have a good night.